There is no guarantee for success, but there are ways to get closer to it when you do the right things. Who you surround yourself with is just as important as what you do. Finding the right people, the right classes, the right activities, and taking the right tests are all decisions that shape your future. Find out more today on Destination University with Dr. Cynthia Colon. Dr. Colon and her guests will give you the tips you need, whether you're a student, parent, or educator. Now, here is your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon.
If your child is like most teenagers, they are fearful that they have nothing interesting to write about in their college essay, and then they worry that they won't actually get admitted. So, no worries. That will all change by the end of this video, right? Here we go. All right, be sure to stay tuned till the end where I will share behind-the-scenes truths on how colleges decide on who to admit or reject. So you can pair that PDF with this episode and you're going to have all the juiciness that you need to get your child through this process. I promise you. Hello, everyone. I am your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon, TEDx speaker, college admissions strategist, and author of the book, Be Committed, Get Admitted. Welcome to Destination University. I've helped over 10,000 students. I've helped them, guided them, and to find their confidence and get admitted to top 100 colleges. Today, I'm sharing the 4 essays every student needs to have when applying to college. I'm going to reveal our 4 signature courses that we use in College Essay Bootcamp every year. And I'm also adding in this episode 2 bonus essays that I think everyone needs as well. Okay, sound good? All right, let's begin with our 4 signature essays. Now, I've talked about this before, but I'm going to dig a little deeper because it's been a bit and I've just, you're always learning more and more. So here are our 4 signature questions. I'm going to say them all and then I'll break them down one by one. So who am I? What am I good at? What's something cool about me? And why this major? Okay, so I'm going to sort of work backwards if you don't mind. The why this major, if you're based in California, there are 4 questions that students will need to answer in the UC application. And one of the things I like to say right from the out of the gate is that in the UC application, there are no letters of recommendation that are allowed. So teachers don't submit letters of recommendation and neither does the counselor. Now, so when I ask students to think about, well, what does that mean? What's missing in your file if there are no letters of recommendation? The letters of recommendation from teachers, that they are meant to add value to the application in as much as describing the student and their academic qualities. Their hard work, they're dedicated, they come to class prepared, their intellectual curiosity, those kinds of things. They're a leader, they're a collaborator, they're a helper, they help their classmates. So if you think about all the things that need to be said about your child and how they are they academically prepared for the challenges of college? Then without that, the onus falls on the student to have to reveal those kinds of qualities. So why this major is one of our key components in our signature classes, in our signature essays. And every student writes this one in essay camp, okay? It also serves as a double whammy. You get sort of 2 for 1 because in the common application, often those supplemental essays that colleges are asking for, they will also ask a separate question that says, why do you want to major in this major? Or why do you want to come to our school? Or something that has to do with how a student will describe why they're interested in what they're interested in. Okay? So that is why this major. Okay. The next 2 here are what am I good at and what's something cool about me. So let me explain how these 2 are different from each other. The what am I good at tends to be the essay that is like their leadership essay. I say to students all the time, leadership does not have to come in a title. You don't have to be the captain or the editor-in-chief or the president or anything like that to be a leader. So there's typically a question on the UC application and in the common application remember there's 8 choices in the UC and you choose 4, and there's 7 options in the Common App and you choose 1 main essay. But typically one of them is going to try to hit on, like, how are you a leader, or how have you contributed, something like that. So that tends to be what we say, that is what am I good at. I'm a Girl Scout Gold Award, or I was the president of this, or I was on the debate team, or something that tends to be at school, tends to be what comes out in the what am I good at. That's different from what is cool about me, or what is sort of unique or different about me. And these are usually my favorite essays. So the coolness factor is just something that a student loves to do, enjoys to do, even if nobody paid them to do it or gave them a grade to do it, they would just do it anyway. So I live in California near the beach, and so I always say, if you surf or you paddleboard or kayak, that is something cool. If your child loves to surf the internet or YouTube and learn, take a deep dive in the Civil War, they know everything there is to know about the Civil War. I had a student who loved anime, who loved Japanese things, Japanese food, and also loved quantum physics. So he had an essay that wrote about the different things that would come up in his YouTube feed, which was such an eclectic thing because of his different interests. So that was kind of cool. But a coolness factor is also just something, it could also be a collection. I collect different Wonder Woman things. I have students who've written about their shoe collection. I didn't know that they're called shoe heads. So the Michael Jordan shoes can be something, an obsession with baseball. And another student who was obsessed with baseball, knew every fact figure there was in baseball. So if you're a parent, you're watching this, you're like, oh my gosh, finally there's a reason that, my child will be able to write about this crazy thing that you maybe have thought it was just for nothing. And you're like, why is this person spending this time on all of these? Maybe they love cars. Maybe they started an Etsy store. Maybe they know multiple languages. So something that's kind of cool to them. It could also be that they are a higher ranking volleyball player. So they don't just play for the sport at school on the team, but they also play for club volleyball and are on a high ranking team on the state level or on the national level. So lots of different things that can be your coolness factor. Okay, the last core form, signature form, is who am I? And that is actually number 1, but I said I was going to go a little bit backwards. So who am I essay is usually the essay that will emerge as the main essay. It's not necessarily always the favorite, but it's usually the one that needs to come to the forefront. Why? Because the who am I essay is going to shed light on the context in which the student comes from, and any other information that we might need. So in the Common App, you only get 1. So that would be a 650-word essay, whereas in the UC application, that's going to be 1 of 4 essays that are only 350 words each. So I'll give you an example. In this 10 sample packet, there's an essay about divorce, which is not about the divorce. That's the background. But it's about her independence, gaining independence, and being a young girl and watching in the courtroom, watching this happen, this deterioration of her family, and the judge, banging and saying, okay, it's over. And then her growth and coming, finding her own independence when her dad had basically left. So there is context in to understand about her, what she's going through in her years as a teenager. So that's number 1. Another one in that same packet is she's Egyptian Coptic, and she goes to the church, and it's any given Sunday, and sort of the extended family and what that means and what that looks like in her world. So that's another one. And the other one that sort of stood the test of time is called the Taco Bell essay. And the Taco Bell essay is about Sunday dinner with family, similar to the church one, like a typical Sunday. But this one, the student writes about it because he loves Sunday dinner, because he gets to select the fast food that they have for dinner. And so he has explored every fast food under the sun, but this particular essay is about the day he picks Taco Bell. Okay, vastly different essays. I just gave you 3 different types, 3 different examples of essays that are found. We'll link you to it at the bottom here, the free sample essays. But when you read them, they're uniquely different. And I can almost feel, I get a sense of who that person is, what they love, what brings them joy, or how they have found themselves, or whatever, their growth, their journey. So anyway, it can be all of these essays are going to be different for each student if done correctly, right? I shouldn't be able to sort of erase your name from an essay, and it could be anyone's essay. Each essay should be something I cannot find anywhere else in the application, and it should be something that only you could write. So there you go. Okay, I said I think I was going to give you 2 bonus essays. That's since I've been doing this for a long time, you guys. And so we came up with those signature 4 questions. So maybe about 15 years ago. But here are the bonus essays. I have found that for private clients, we don't just obviously stop at working with the College Essay Bootcamp. We continue our work throughout the year. So we repurpose and teach students how to repurpose and retweak those 4 signature core 4 essays for lots of different essays that they'll write in the supplements. However, I have found in the last few years that every student should have this extra one. And I'm going to call it the community essay. So even before COVID happened, there were a few schools that asked about community and said, we believe in diversity and inclusivity and things like those kinds of words. But really, COVID, Black Lives Matter, all these other things that kind of came to the forefront, that has been a question. So a community question, and you want to just think of this as a way, we all have community, whether it's our family community, our school community, our church community, a community of, the co-curriculars that students are involved in. So it can be any kind of community. So really give some thought to what kind of communities you're a part of and how what's important to you. Be sure, I would also just give you an extra tip. Be sure to Google, just search on the college website, whatever college is asking for it. There are some clues. Like Chapman does a really great job of, in the question, it links you to their community statement, I want to say, or something like that. So you guys, don't overlook that. They're giving you the answer right there. So click on the link, do 3 minutes of homework before answering this question, and I'm telling you, it'll go a long way. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you this is 2024. And so we just finished our first round of admissions with the SCOTUS decision that overturned affirmative action. Okay. That being said, even a year ago, we knew what was coming, and colleges started to make plans to ask another question that, and I don't even know how to phrase it, but it's different than the community question. It's almost like a context question. It's almost like they're fishing on purpose to say, hey, is there anything in your life or things that matter or important to you that you'd like to share with us? Okay. I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to be really candid with you. I like to be raw, real, and candid, and that's how I'm going to give it to you because you need to know. And again, I don't know if I started by saying, if you're in a public school or a Catholic school, chances are you're 5 steps behind of your private school counterparts. What this extra question is asking students to reveal is the context in which they come from. So if you didn't do a good job in that sort of main statement, here's another chance. And most students who are first generation, heck, most students in general, don't realize what they should be writing. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you my own example just so that I use it as me, and then I'll give you an example of some students I work with. When I was applying to college, first generation, so I was going through a family that was going through divorce. For vacation, we went camping for vacation. I had never been outside of the state. I don't even know if I had ever been on a plane. I had a full life, but I wasn't going to Europe for vacation, right? I'm one of 3 girls. So we had a 3-bedroom house. So it was a house, but I did share in many ways. I shared space with my very young sisters. I didn't think to write about any of that. Not the divorce, not that I went camping as my splurge vacation, not that I shared a room, none of that. I didn't think to share that. What I thought I needed to share was something fancy about myself, that I was the student body president, that I was, students think that they have to sound impressive because they're applying to college. And that completely makes sense. Like, why would you think anything different? So students tend to write about that. But I'm going to tell you right now, yeah, you and everyone else that's in NHS, you and everyone else that's doing community service, you and everyone else that gets, the English Student of the Year award. Everyone applying to college has all those accolades. That's not what makes a student stand out. And that's not what gets me to understand who you are. So I'm going to give you this example of a student I worked with this year, a few students I work with, but students I work with at a particular school district, underserved school district, and most of the students there are Latino and their parents speak Spanish as their first language. Many of the students there share an apartment unit, a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom for a family of 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 people, okay? Yeah, so where do they do their homework, right? So I tell the story of Jackie in my TEDx talk about how during COVID, Jackie could only basically do her homework like in the restroom. Like that was the only place that she could find that she could have like a space to herself. So that's what she needed to write about. So I say this because there's this question that now many colleges have that are really trying to get the students to understand, it's okay to talk about those things. Again, many students would not think to write about those things. And that's exactly what you need to write about. So again, I can go on this topic, on and on this topic, but those are the core 4. Who am I? What am I good at? What's something cool about me? And why this major are the signature 4. And then the bonus ones I'm giving you are questions that ask about community and what kind of community member you are. And then another question that I'm just going to say, it's really about the context of who you are. So there you have it. Okay. I hope that was helpful. Let me look at my notes here. Oh my God. I'm trying a new format, so I do have to look at notes, you guys. Oh, of course. I like to ask, okay, so my mom hates when I ask this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful was this video? Please comment below and let me know how helpful it was so I can learn and grow from it. So that's number 1. Number 2 is if you found this episode helpful and valuable, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes, okay? But as promised, I did promise that I would give you a free gift. So I actually have a couple of things I want to give you because this episode is about essays. So yes, on one hand, my best freebie right now is the one that I reveal exactly the admission process that we went through when I worked at Vassar College. So it's the new guide. It's called 4 Questions Admission Officers Ask When Deciding Who to Admit or Reject. You're going to go to drcynthiacolon.com/admit. /admit, drcynthiacolon/admit. We'll leave the links here, but I also will leave the link for you to download the 10 sample packet of essays because I referenced 3 of those essays right there. But you got to read the Kobe essay and you got to read the McDonald's essay and the percussion essay. Oh, they're all so good, you guys. Okay. So thanks for watching today and sharing your time with me. This is the 4 college essays that every student needs before applying to college. So again, if you found value, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes, okay? I'll be sure to see you same time, same place next week. In the meantime, wherever you are, may you have a happy and sunny day. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening this week to Destination University. Be sure to join Dr. Cynthia Colon again and get one step closer to your success.